There is a kind of loneliness that has nothing to do with being alone. You can be sitting in a room full of people, people who know your name, people who laugh with you, people who would say they care about you, and still feel it. That quiet, hollow feeling that sits in your chest and does not leave. Like you are there, but not really there. Like everyone around you is speaking a language you almost understand, but not quite. If you have ever felt that, and I think most of us have, then this video is for you. Because today we are going to talk about what that feeling actually does to a person over time. And some of it is going to be harder to hear than you expect. The first thing loneliness does, and it does this so slowly you barely notice, is it starts to change the way you see yourself. When you go long enough without feeling truly seen by another person, something begins to shift on the inside. You start to wonder if maybe there is something wrong with you. Maybe you are too much. Maybe you are not enough. Maybe you are fundamentally different from other people in some way that means you will always end up here, on the outside of something looking in. And the cruel thing about that thought is the longer you hold it, the more real it feels. You start making decisions from that place. You stop reaching out first because you assume the answer will be no. You stop sharing how you really feel because you have already decided nobody really wants to know. You shrink, quietly, without even realizing it is happening. And one day you look up and realize you have become a smaller version of the person you used to be. And you cannot remember exactly when that happened. And then it starts to change how you see other people too. When you have been lonely for a long time, really lonely, not just a bad week lonely, but months or years of feeling disconnected, you start to develop a complicated relationship with the people around you. On one hand, you desperately want connection. You crave it in a way that is almost physical. But on the other hand, you have been disappointed enough times that getting close to someone starts to feel like a risk you are not sure you can afford. So you do this painful thing where you want people near you, but you also keep them at a distance. You test them without meaning to. You pull away right when things start to feel real. Not because you do not care, but because somewhere inside you are waiting for them to leave anyway. And sometimes, heartbreakingly, that waiting pushes them away before they ever get the chance to stay. Here is something that most people do not know, and it is important. Loneliness is not just an emotional experience. It is a physical one. Research has shown that chronic loneliness, the kind that goes on for a long time without relief, raises the levels of stress hormones in your body. It weakens your immune system. It disrupts your sleep. It increases inflammation in ways that over time can affect your heart and your overall health. Scientists have actually found that prolonged loneliness can take years off your life. Not because of anything dramatic, just because the human body was never designed to carry that weight alone for that long. We are wired for connection the same way we are wired for food and water. And when we go without it, really go without it, the body starts to feel the absence in ways that go far beyond just feeling sad. But here is the part that I think is most important and most overlooked. The loneliest people are often not the ones sitting alone in a quiet house. They are the ones performing. The ones who have gotten so good at seeming fine that nobody around them even knows something is wrong. They laugh at the right moments. They show up. They ask how you are doing. They go through all the motions of a connected human being. But inside they are completely unreachable. They have been carrying this thing for so long that they do not even know how to put it down anymore. They would not know how to tell you they were struggling even if they wanted to. Because somewhere along the way they decided, consciously or not, that their loneliness was their problem to carry and nobody else needed to be burdened with it. And that decision, that quiet, invisible decision, is one of the loneliest things a human being can do. I do not want to leave you only with the heavy parts. Because loneliness does something else too, something that does not get talked about nearly enough. It deepens you. People who have sat with real loneliness, who have had no choice but to spend time inside their own head, often develop a level of self-awareness that people who have never been lonely simply do not have. They feel things more deeply. They notice things others miss. They develop an empathy that comes from knowing what it feels like to be on the outside of something. They become the kind of person who checks on others not because it is polite, but because they really know, what it means to need someone to check on you. That depth does not come from easy times. It comes from the hard, quiet ones. And it is worth something even when it does not feel like it. If you are going through this right now, if any part of what I said today felt like I was reading something you have never said out loud, I just want you to know something. The fact that you feel it this deeply says something real about who you are. It means you are someone who is capable of genuine connection. someone who wants something real. And people who want something real, who have not settled for surface level and performance, those people find each other eventually. Not always on the timeline they wanted, not always in the way they expected, but they do. You are not broken. You are not too much or not enough. You are just someone who has not yet found the people who deserve to know you. And I genuinely believe that changes. Drop a comment below and just say I felt this, because you will not be the only one. And subscribe because next week we are going somewhere just as deep. See you there.